Okay, my purpose for this little portion of our video is to show you with different yarns and different hook sizes. All three of these sort of samplers are done with the full stitch, just to show you. This is a lace weight yarn, very, very fine, and it is a mohair. So what you can do is always have a pull-out skein. That's what I wanted to show you too. A pull-out skein where you're taking from the center and the outside at the same time, so you can have double strand. And then you don't have to carry around 3 or 4 balls that get all tangled up. And that's what I did here, but I had a lot of yardage, so I wrapped it around. When it gets down here, it's going to have one pulling out of the center and one on the outside. But I have it all doubled for a little ways. But my purpose in this clip was to show you, this is the full stitch in the 1/2 inch and a double strand of lace weight yarn. I think it's very pretty. You take that same stitch and you put one strand on a 5/8 inch. This is the 5/8, isn't it? No. That's 7/8, 5/8, 3/4. This is 3/4. On the 3/4 inch needle, one strand gives you this lovely effect. Again, it's the full stitch, and this is a lovely, it's not mohair, it looks like mohair, it's like a cloud, it's puffy, it's beautiful, makes a fabulous scarf. But it doesn't shed too badly, and it's not itchy. It's very soft. It's a man-made fibers, so it's very soft and lovely. Again, in future I'm going to try and keep the labels on yarns so I can tell you what they are. Now, if I add a second strand and move up to the 7/8 inch, this is what I get, which is the same stitch, the full stitch. Now you have really just a weave of puffy yarn. I think it's extremely pretty for a full scarf. You can make this be a 6-foot or 8-foot scarf. And by the way, the rule for scarves is as long as the person you're making for it is tall, unless you want them to have a knee-to-knee, which you would make it extra long. But anyway, that's a good little tip. But you can see the same stitch on the 3 different size needles. Double strand on the lace, single strand on this, and double strand on this with the big needle. Gives you 3 different effects and has a change in the character. What you want to do is learn that you can play with different weights of yarn with the different needles. If it's the right needle, it will stay flat when you pull it out, like this does. If it's too tight, it'll be all curled up on you. That's a secret for Tunisian. But you play with the different needle sizes, the different yarns, the different character yarns, some smooth, some furry, some puffy, some natural fibers are very limp and dead in their memory. But if you use the right pattern with them, you can give them the character they need, and they're quite beautiful. The drag that's created with the natural fiber is wonderful and recognizable. But you want to have a design that needs that yarn characteristic. So as a goal, play with needle sizes, play with with yarn types, different fibers, different textures. Think about, do they itch? Do they have any memory? This has very little memory, but when you put it into this, and particularly in Tunisian, it has such structure behind that knitting doesn't have, that it gives it the body it needs to be quite beautiful. And it's just equally pretty in one strand with the smaller. But look at the size of these hooks. If you were to do this with a knitting needle that's small, now you're compressing all these fibers and you don't allow them to bloom. And when they bloom, they're quite beautiful. So play with it. Then take your swatch, measure it. See how many stitches per inch and how many rows per inch. Then decide on the shape for a garment or a scarf or a shawl or a blanket, and apply those mathematics to the shape that you want. You can make beautiful garments out of rectangles. In more advanced applications of Tunisian, I'll eventually be showing you, you can work in the round. You can do wonderful things. You can do a cowl that just continues around and has no seam. It's much easier for some people to just make a rectangle and seam it in the back. But a beautiful cowl could be made by working in the round. To work in the round, you must have the double-ended hook. There's no way around it, but that's for a future video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know I have, and I look forward to talking to all of you in future. Thank you.